Well, dream interpretation has been something that's been has a long, long history. You can go back to, was it David interpretation of dreams?
Yeah.
But there were several other stories. I don't want to say stories, but stories in the Bible of people interpreting dreams and how it was effective. And there were even dreams that were interpreted that there is a Messiah coming. So, in the Bible, that goes quite a ways back. But even you go to the Greek mythology with the Delphi, the oracles at Delphi,
Yeah.
not only did they do it through um, other means, but they also did dream interpretation uh, and the whole, prophecy type thing with dreams. And there's other situations in other cultures where, like in the Celtic or the Druid culture, that the women, especially, were given the responsibility of interpreting dreams and having the dreams to find out what the gods had to say. And I mean, this goes across. I mean, even in your indigenous people, there are dream interpreters,
Yeah.
not medicine men or the sacred man or whatever but
Shamans.
they are specific, huh?
Shamans.
The shamans. But no, they're in many tribes, nations, however you want to call them. I don't know anymore. They keep changing all the information or all the labels. And there were special people that would interpret dreams. They would have dreams to see what was, what the creator spirit had to say to them that could help them. So, dream interpretation is something that goes a long, long way. And we're going to embark on a journey of exploration into the spiritual meaning of dreams and how you can use your own thoughts to interpret what your dreams are.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but it's so
That's
true.
okay.
It all depends on the way though that you look at the dream, and people might say one thing, right, but it could mean something else. Sort of
Which
like,
is why,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
That's why sort of like lately those underneath a good friend's show, I've actually sent a question to her, and it's like, hey, I've been actually having dreams to do with my parents, so I've actually passed on. What's it mean? But she's coming up with one way, right? I've addressed you directly, and you've come up with a different way.
My response was, and I was going to say this earlier, and I apologize for interrupting. Uh, that's why I tell people keep a dream journal. And I've had this experience myself, and other people that I know do the same thing, and they've had the same experience. At a certain point, all of a sudden, it gels. When I dream about this, it means this. When I dream about this, it means this. But then the other day, I had that same dream, but I'm interpreting it different because you start looking back at your notes.
Yeah.
So keep it. I highly advise people to please keep a dream journal. You would be surprised what comes out in that.
Be back right after this quick commercial break. Hey everyone, check out our merchandise that we have now listed underneath hauntinglivepodcast.com. We used to be on Etsy, but we found a little bit of troubles with that, so we are now on hauntinglivepodcast.com with our merch store. Check it out. We've got so much items all together with cleansing items and crystals and so much more. Check us out, hauntinglivepodcast.com. Hey everyone, it's Brother Chris here from Divine Oracle Podcast. Join me Mondays as I do readings and I post them right here underneath Podbeam. It's easy, it's good lighting, and it's your weekly readings. So join me, will you?
Follow us here at Haunting Live, and we are honored to have a brand new co-host on our shows now. Yolanta Mary introduces people to the show and discusses different topics on the show. So we're really happy to have her here this season. So go check out our brand new episodes.
So with number 7, to do with the continuance of last week's show, though, we're looking at divine guidance and intuition. Many people actually have had this all together, and what it is your subconscious and spirits that are directing you within the right way. They're giving you more intuition and guidance of which path that you need to take. That's going to be with your spiritual life or with everyday life. There's always great messages coming to you within the spirit side, actually, of our dreams.
Of course, that's the one time I lose something here. Lucid dreaming and conscious exploration. That's one of the things that interests a lot of people is, can you be awake during a dream? Yeah, you can. It's called lucid dreaming. And it's a state of being aware that you are dreaming, but you're still within a dream. And it holds potential, tremendous potential for the exploration of interpretation of your dreams. And through this, you can actively engage with the dream realm and consciously shape your experiences and seeking deeper spiritual insights. And lucid dreaming allows you to bridge the gap between waking and dream world, empowering you to access the heightened states of consciousness and expand your awareness, and thus embark on a transformation of the inner journeys. It's kind of like meditating while you're, it's kind of a meditation sort of thing, is how I describe it when I do lucid dreaming. It's kind of like you're there, but you're not really there. And it's rather, it's surprising what you would come up with. It's very, very interesting. Do you lucid dream?
Exploring and healing those. Whenever we're dealing with dreams, those what we're doing those we're always solar exploring ourselves. That's sort of with going actually on a spiritual journey, and sometimes though it's with healing those. We're not only healing ourselves physically, but we're also healing ourselves mentally, and spiritually altogether. It's always a great way to do though with dreams. It's kind of like dealing with actually astral traveling and also um, basically out of body experiences. But it's not 100% like that though. It's kind of like that, but it's not. What would you say, Gypsy Lady Eva?
Yeah, lucid dreaming and astral travel are really kind of two different things, because astral travel, you don't have that much control over it. It just takes you, but with lucid dreaming, you have more control over it. You can do much more. And um, you can actually talk with your guides or whoever happens to be in the dream. Interconnections and universal wisdom. That's a favorite of mine, universal wisdom. It's all out there. All you have to do is be able to tap into it. Yeah. You need that library card for the archive. Oh, what is it? Yeah, it begins with an A. I remember that. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Give me a second. Anyway, dreams remind us of the interconnectionness of all beings, whether they're here or on other planets, if you want to believe in that, and the vast tapestry of universal wisdom. And, you read many different philosophies from across the times, across the world, and you see many things uh, over and over again, said a little bit differently here, a little bit longer there, shorter there, but they're all saying the same thing. And it's like that universal connection. Uh, and they reveal our inherent connection to the nature and the cosmos and the collective consciousness that is out there. And spiritual dreams may present very vivid images of unity, oneness, and interconnection, and while expanding our awareness beyond the boundaries of individual existence. By recognizing and embracing this, we cultivate a sense of unity and compassion towards all beings, whether they're human beings or animal beings. You make that connection. We become very protective too. And we are contributing to the greater harmony of the world by doing this. And when you dream that you make that connection with the vastness, uh, you begin to understand how, I don't want to say small, but how, even though we're just this dot on the map, so to speak, we still are a part of the whole universe. And each of those dots out there that represents a person or a being, it all adds to the great overall picture of the universe, however big it really is. And that's all I can say about it.
And that brings us to number 11, which is intuitive and psychic insight. They're saying though that dreams actually have been always associated with the highest intuitive actually for the psychic ability. Spiritual dreams can often actually direct us within the higher selves. Now, what that basically means though is we actually as spiritual mediums though, and people that are more in tune with our spiritual side though, we can actually be able to and heighten ourselves within answers. So whenever we go to bed though, what we need to do though is always actually ask us, like not ask us, but actually ask our spirits actually to be with us and actually help us out for there to be more wisdom within inside the universe altogether. Now, would you basically actually have anything else though that you want to add on to that by any chance?
Excuse me, the psychic, well, intuitive and psychic are kind of the same thing. And I think so many people, oh, I can't be a psychic, or, psychics, blah, 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 excuse, excuse, excuse. But when we dream, we open ourselves to all the possibilities, including the psychic aspect of things or the intuitive aspect. And people don't, I had a dream the other night, and you know what? I dreamt about this. And it's like, that's the psychic aspect. And they look at you like, no, that's not possible. And it's like, but that's really what you do. You really make that connection. And it's like, you know, go with it. That's a part of the gift. That's a part of who we are, whether people want to admit it or not.
The one thing I do have to say though, and it makes me kind of laugh though, when people say, "Oh, I don't dream," but we all do dream, and there's times though that we do remember it. Some people don't, but for those that do remember it, there's always PowerPoints for us to remember. And what I always suggest though is what you've always said though is write down in a journal. A journal is very important for you.
Uh, Transcendent and enlightenment. And that's the key word, enlightenment. But you're not going to get this. No, you get more of like, ah, if that makes any sense. Uh, Dreams can give you a big oomph or not, depending on what's going on in the dream. Usually it's more of a like, but they offer extraordinary experiences of enlightenment. And spiritual dreams will involve encounters with spiritual beings. You'll have near-death experiences or profound moments of awakening. The dreams can shatter our very limited perceptions of reality, which once you really get into it, you realize how limited our waking moments are when it comes to perceiving reality. And when you get into the dreams, it just expands outward. And it also kind of unveils or opens the expansive nature of our spiritual essence, which is something a lot of people don't connect with. They think, well, yeah, I got a soul. Yeah, but the soul is a part of the universe. Get with it. And spiritual dreams of enlightenment often leave an lasting impact, and uh it makes you want to go out and go for the spiritual growth, because you can see what can happen. And they serve as catalysts for profound transformations in our life. And that's the big, whoa. And sometimes it happens immediately, and other times it's kind of a growing thing, and all of a sudden you're there. So there you go.
Already, and I'll give you the last one, which is number 13.
Okay. Sacred rituals and dream incubation. Hmm. Throughout history, individuals, communities have recognized the spirit, and groups of people have recognized the significance of dreams, spiritual significance, and engaged in practices to enhance these dream experiences. Uh, One of the rituals is the setting of intentions before you go to sleep, and is just one of these little practices that you can set up. That one's probably the most popular or the most easily done. I'm going to dream something. I want an answer for this. And by focusing on specific questions or seeking guidance or inviting spiritual experiences through the dream, we open ourselves to the possibility of receiving profound revelations. I like that word, profound. And we get insights during our dream states of our reality, such as it is. And these intentional practices honor the spiritual nature of dreams and inviting deeper connections with the divine in our awakening of our wisdom, our innate wisdom.
And that's so true though, because there is a lot of us spiritual people though that we actually will start and ask for things. We won't demand it before we go to bed. We will actually ask in a nice, calm way, what is there anything though that we need to know? And a lot of times though, information is given to us, but sometimes it's not right away. But we wait for the messages. It can happen within approximately a week. It can happen within a little bit longer time. Um, that's why we always say those. Whenever you have a dream, write it down usually first thing in the morning. Don't write it down halfway during the day. The reason why is because you will forget. If you write it down first thing in the morning, right when you get up, it's a great way to go back and look at your dreams and see what is being given to you within the messages.
I can't emphasize the importance of writing a journal. And it doesn't have to be any great thing. You're not trying to, I mean, you can do it on a computer too. You don't have to actually, I prefer to do it in a journal because it just, I don't know, it just has more of an intimacy about it. And the point of the journal is that you keep track and you begin to see certain things reoccurring, and you begin to see certain themes reoccurring. You begin to see certain messages reoccurring. And it's like some of these you really got to pay attention to, or they're going to slap you up alongside the head and say, uh, hey. And other times they'll go like, oh, okay, we'll let her drift along a little bit and see what happens. Ah, the Akashic Files. That's what I was thinking of.
Now, a lot of us so that we're actually more in tune with our spiritual side. We've gone through a lot of this list here, but the one thing though is we've all been given messages actually from the higher realm, which is the spiritual side, to do with Donald J. Trump. Now, Gypsy Lady, if I don't know if you want to read what actually the messages though that I was able to find out thanks to my spirit guides for directing me within the way about the U.S. president, not really president, but the wannabe president. If you want to be able to read this, and people are starting to tune more actually in, and this is thing is going to help you guys out within the states.
All right, I just found this on Trump's family tree. He's of German and Scottish descent. He grew up with his older siblings, Marianne, Fred Jr., and Elizabeth, and his younger brother Robert, in a mansion in Jamaica Estates, neighborhood of the Queens. Fred Trump paid his children each year $20,000, or which is approximately $265,000 in current. So if Trump wants to get rid of the immigrants, then that costs him.
Yeah, and the thing though is, if he wants to get rid of them, he will be actually taken away from his place because he was not born in North America. And his family though is descendants to do with German and also the other country. So what he has to do though is actually basically look at his own self and stop criticizing people. This is something I did receive actually from my spiritual side and also from my ancestors. But let's just take a look at what we've gone through to with the last show and the show, and here we go. The first one that we're going to look at, though, is communication with deceased loved ones.
Promotions and spiritual premonitions and spiritual warnings. Do you want me to just read them all?
Yeah, that would be good, please.
Astral travel and out-of-body experiences. 4, dreams as sacred encounters. 5, spiritual symbolism and archetypes. 6 was messages from the subconscious. 7 is divine guidance and intuition. 8 was lucid dreaming and conscious exploration. 9 is soul exploration and healing. 10 is interconnections and universal wisdom. 11 is intuition and psychic insights. 12 was transcendence and enlightenment. And 13 was sacred rituals and dream incubation.
Now, we only ask one thing from you guys, so it's actually please like, so that we can get a little bit better numbers going straight across. And let your friends know.
Just give us a little boost.
We'll talk to you guys later and have a great one. If you guys are interested, we post every single Saturday of the first episode on Podbean, then on YouTube on the Wednesdays.
Bye-bye.